today I will be speaking on Jamaica, its location and its physical features. So this is just a general introduction where we'll be providing the definition of some terms to get a better understanding of the different physical features across Jamaica, and also to aid as like a building block for a more abstract lesson. So the first definition that I'll be getting into is cardinal points. So when we think of cardinal points, our minds automatically go to north, south, east, and west, which is correct. Our cardinal points or directions are north, south, east, and west. And how I remember it is north at the top, south at the bottom, and then I spell we, W being to the left and E to the right, and W for west, E for east. We also have 8 cardinal point direction out of 16 cardinal point direction. Alright, highlands. As the name suggests, height, elevation, it's in the word highlands. And the meaning states highland is a mountainous region or elevated part of a country. In Jamaica, the first highland that I think of is the Blue Mountain Range. It spans over Portland, St. Thomas, St. Mary, and St. Andrew. And it says, did you know that the tallest mountain in Jamaica is the Blue Mountain? An image of the Blue Mountain is shown in the slide. It's not the best of images, but it just shows you how luscious and green and tall Blue Mountain is. Then we have lowlands, and we hear lowlands get low, get flat, it's not of height. And as the name suggests, lowlands is a flat land that is at or not much higher than sea level. And when I think of lowlands, I think of plains, plantations, estates, large area of land. Alright, so in the slide we see a lowland found in Old Harbor Bay in Jamaica. Alright, so the next thing we're going to touch on is physical features. So physical features of the environment are landforms, bodies of water, climate, natural vegetation, and the soil of the earth. And those are big categories that minor things fall under. So we have landforms, hills, mountains, valleys, bodies of water, lakes, ponds, seas, rivers, oceans, stuff like that. A physical map is used to highlight the physical features of any area. So if we want to present the physical features of an area, we use a physical map. In the slide, we see a physical map of Jamaica, and it highlights the major rivers, the surrounding Caribbean Sea, and also mountain ranges. Landforms. What are landforms? The slide says that landforms are the classifications, I put in bracket names, we give to the shape of land around us. Like instead of squares and circles, we have mountains, we have valleys, and we have hills. So instead of looking at things and say, what's a triangle thing there? We know that based on its height, based on its shape, it's a hill. Or based on its height, or based on its shape, it's a mountain. Or based on how it looks, it's an ocean or a sea. Or what makes it up decides if it's a interlocking spur, a river, etc., etc. So that's just landforms. Alright, last but not least, we go to latitude and longitude. Latitude and longitude can be very confusing, but if we know the essence of what it is, it's a bit simpler. So latitude and longitude are a system of lines, and we say imaginary lines because we cannot actually see lines of latitude or longitude. So it's imaginary, and it's used to describe the location of any place on Earth. So lines of latitude run in an east-west direction across the Earth, or we can say it runs horizontally, and while lines of longitude run in a north-south direction up and down, so it runs vertically. So although these are only imaginary lines, they appear on maps and globes as if they actually existed. So think about it, we cannot actually go outside and see a line of latitude or longitude, can we? No. However, on maps they are shown because it's used as reference points to the location of different areas, countries, regions, anything that is needed for you to reference. Alright? Okay, I know I said last but not least, but we have one final definition that we have to go through, which is relief. Alright, so relief in geological terms is a difference between a location's highest or lowest elevation. So it is basically, if we're supposed to put let's say a formula to it, it would be the lowest elevation subtracted from the highest elevation. It's just the difference between them both, right? So a relief map can be used to highlight the relief of any area. On the slide we see a relief map of Jamaica, and we see that there are different colors that are shown on the map. So we have green, we have brown, but we also have different shades of brown. So areas that have a dark brown shading highlights highlands. So the darker the shade of the brown is, the more mountainous the area is, and that's for any color. So the darker the shade of any color is where more of this feature is located. So did you know that nearly half of Jamaica's surface is more than 1,000 feet, which is converted to 300 meters above sea level, which just simply suggests that Jamaica is mountainous and half of the surface is mountains. Alright?
As a child growing up in the country, I enjoyed the exciting sound of the rushing waters of the river, but my real interest was in the fishing, although I never caught a fish. Did you know there are over 100 rivers here in Jamaica? Yes, there is, but many are unexplored and not navigable. The height of the mountains cause these rivers to run swiftly in deep beds, and their courses are sometimes broken by waterfalls. Let us now take a look at some of Jamaica's rivers, their length and location. The Black River is the largest or widest river in Jamaica. It is 73 kilometers long, and for 28 kilometers from its mouth, it is navigable for small vessels. Today, there is an increased interest in rafting and other water sport activities on our rivers. Therefore, some of the once unexplored rivers are now used for these purposes. For the most part though, the rivers in Jamaica are still used for irrigation and domestic purposes, particularly by the rural folks. The Rio Minho is the longest river in Jamaica. It rises close to the mainland's geographic center, flowing generally south-southwest, reaching the Caribbean Sea at Carlisle Bay in the central south coast to the west of the island's southernmost point, that's Portland Point. The town of Maypen in Clarendon lies on the banks of the Rio Minho. We also have some underground rivers in the limestone region of Jamaica, for example, the Hectors and Cave rivers. It is worth noting that the parish of St. Ann is mainly of limestone formation and has no rivers in its interior. However, it has underground reservoirs that sometimes rise to the surface as lakes during exceptional rainfall. It is also said that the Moneague Lake, near Moneague in St. Ann, last rose in 1970, but disappeared in 1971. The three most popular rivers used for rafting in Jamaica are the Great River in St. James, the Rio Grande in St. Catherine, and the Matabele River in Trelawney. So here now is a list of the 22 main rivers in Jamaica, their length and location. Black River in St. Elizabeth is 53.4 kilometers long. Buff Bay River in Portland is 22.2 kilometers long. Carbarita River in Westmoreland is 39.7 kilometers long. Deans River, also in Westmoreland, is 17.1 kilometers long. Great River in St. James is 46 kilometers long. Hectors River in Portland is 5.1 kilometers long. Hope River in St. Andrew is 19.6 kilometers long. Lucy East River in Hanover is 12.9 kilometers long. Lucy West River in Hanover is 14 kilometers long. The Martha Brae River in Trelawney is 32.5 kilometers long. Milk River in Clarendon is 36.4 kilometers long. The Montego River in St. James is 24.1 kilometers long. The Morant River in St. Thomas is 25.9 kilometers long. Negril River in Westmoreland is 15.3 kilometers long. Martin Garden River in St. Thomas is 34.9 kilometers long. The Rio Cobre in St. Catherine is 50.9 kilometers long. The Rio Grande in Portland is 34.3 kilometers long. The Rio Minho in Clarendon, which is the longest river in the island, is 92.5 kilometers long. The Rio Nueve in St. Mary is 24 kilometers long. The Wagwater River in St. Mary is 36.2 kilometers long. The White River in St. Anne is 27.4 kilometers long. And the Yalos River in St. Thomas is 36.9 kilometers long. I guess my community river, the Nigra River in Mount Lebanon, that's the one I show you guys that run behind my house in St. Thomas, was too small to make this list, but good still. If you know of any other rivers that is not on this list, please let me know in the comment section below. It will really be appreciated. Did you find this video interesting or informative? Let me know by giving the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to Elite Jamaica, consider doing so. Until we meet again here in Elite Jamaica, just want to say, y'all stay blessed.